You are with the University of Karate, and we've joined again Sensei Biddle to talk about the principles, the styles, the techniques, the science, the methods, even the history that gives us an understanding and brings together what we know as the martial arts. You're again with the University of Karate, and we are looking at a special topic today that I believe is going to be challenging to some, interesting to some, maybe revolutionary to some. It's called The Secret of the Circles. The Secret of the Circles. In the martial arts, if we look at martial arts, and especially as I've been talking with Sensei Biddle, and he's been sharing things about, especially he talked about Eskrima, Aikido, and Uechi-ryu. He has this continual message or lesson or teaching about circles. And the Eskrima stick fighting from the Philippines, he always talked about this infinity. We know the infinity symbol, but the hand motions that he constantly practices is this circle, 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 in all directions, circle, 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 circles. Not as the only type of movement, but again, the important in footwork and in hands of having this circular pattern. We did a video just recently talking about Aikido and whether it's useless or use lost. And again, he was talking about the circles, circles for entry, circles for moving out, circles for throwing or capturing individuals, entering in. And also in Uechi-ryu, Sanchin has circular stepping, circular hand motions, a circle block, circle strikes, circles everywhere. Now, that's interesting because many times when we see a lot of the popular point fighting and different types of martial arts being used, we only see these linear types of strikes or attacks or entry points. But you see the circles in so many martial arts, effective martial arts, so often. What is the secret behind the circles? We're going to see if Sensei Biddle will relent to share some of these insights that he has with us. And Sensei Biddle, I want you to take the mic and go right ahead.
Okay, oh my. Muhammad Ali, circle. If go watch some videos of Muhammad Ali, how he moved around the ring, how he controlled the movement of the ring with a circular pattern. His little dance, and he always was moving in a circle. It's a master class in moving and moving around the ring and controlling the ring. And as John alluded to, we seem to have lost a lot of that now, where it's just straightforward, straight back, attack, attack. And if you really watch good boxers, good fighters, Mike Tyson was a phenomenal, used his body to move very well. He'd slip and get underneath, and then he would do that uppercut from the inside out. He'd be outside of them, striking up and getting inside, and that's a circular motion. Sugar Ray Leonard was a master in creating this circular motion and moving around. So if you just think of positional control, if you're standing straight on with your opponent and they come at you and you only have one or two ways you're going to go if you're linear, or if you're going straight forward or straight back, then they can get you. They can always get you. You've got to be able to move at the angles, and angles are just circular movements that are just in a direction. If you're able to move in circles, then you can... Okay, I'm going to take a segue because it just popped into me. Just stay with me for a minute. I used to think I was a good chess player because I, could think a few moves ahead and stuff. And then I played a friend of mine, was one of my karate students actually, that was a grandmaster. He beat me in like 2 minutes. And then he said, I'll tell you what, I'll use only my bishops. If you're not familiar with chess, then I'm sorry. I will play you with just my 2 bishops. He checkmated me in less than 5 minutes. And I said, what in the world did you do? And he says, I controlled the ring. I used the angles of the bishop, because bishops move along the diagonals. He used those to box me in. And I had no defense for it. So think of now, you're sparring somebody, you're in a situation, and you see that chessboard now. Don't play checkers. where you can only go straight forward. Play chess so you can move in the diagonals and you can move in the other sections. And better yet, learn to use the circular motions of moving. I'm gonna play with this a little bit because there's a lot of entertaining ideas in this thing. So the Sanchin strike is a drawback and strike. It's a circle. So when the hand comes back, it moves in. It moves in toward the center, back and out. It's a little ellipse, a little bit of a circular motion. Here's another good one. A golf swing is a circle. Everybody goes back and down. You go back and you got to stop your motion going back and then you go down. What would be a better way of creating speed? As you go back, you continue, you just change the angle and you keep the motion going and you come down on the inside plane. It's a loop, it's a circle. So if you're stuck in linear thinking, you're playing checkers and someone moving in circles is playing 4D chess. Because they can think, because you're thinking forward and back and maybe sideways, that's 2 dimensions. It's like a piece of paper, like you're playing on a piece of paper. Versus someone that's in 3 dimensions that's looking down and you're stuck on the piece of paper and he's moving above your head. Because you're moving at angles and changing your positions and the degrees of attack become infinite. So everybody always says the straightest point between 2 lines is a straight line. Yeah, but if I do a circular motion, it ends up coming in a straight line. Like a ridge hand is coming in a circle. If you drop it down to your hip and you bring it around, which is sort of like the Seisan movement, which I learned to do my ridge hand from the Seisan movement. And I found it was almost indefensible because you can't see it because it comes up from the blind side. But it's a circular motion. So if you're punching, so you ask, I'm all over the place because I could go 10 years on this topic. Because I've spent a lifetime understanding how these movements take place. It's like if you're throwing a straight reverse punch, how are you going to make that a circle? By moving. By moving your body and you change the orientation. So as that punch is coming out, it's so hard to explain some of this sometimes. We always think straight in front of us. And I apologize for jumping around, and I hope it congeals somewhere in your heads in the explanation. It's like if I'm in a Sanchin stance, and I'm facing straight forward. My left foot's forward, and it's turned in 30 degrees. My right foot's back. Where is my target? Is it straight ahead? No. Just rotate to the front foot. There's your angle. Rotate to the other side. There's your angle. Don't get caught up in the direction because, I'm apologizing. I'm going to go again. If you go back to China, where all this came from, all their movements are circular movements. Why do we go here today and say, well, they're ineffective because they won't work? Well, they've been doing them for 4,000 years. The circular movements create lines of force, create power, and it's what I call, and we talked about this in Aikido, where you're the center and things are whipping around you. That's called centripetal force. That means the force is flung outward, and it's directed at a point. And if you're moving in circles, like you're doing a figure 8 with an eskrima stick, a figure 8, I call it upside down figure 8 or the infinity symbol, you can strike on any point of that circle at any angle, any direction you want. And then if you move your body with it, you've created a 4th dimensional angle. Up, down, sideways, around, whatever. So all these circular patterns, you just have to see everything in circles. So if you do a Sanchin, don't think of the line of attack as straight at you. Think of it at the angle. Now, how are you going to move to get in that angle? So I don't want to be straight on. I want to be at the angle. So if someone's straight ahead of me and they come in, then I'm going to rotate in a certain direction to create that angle. That rotation is a circle. If you picture the Aikido movement where their hips, and I put this in the comment of that video, I'm going to say it now, they wear the hakama to hide their feet. Yeah, it's a dress, okay? It's just a dress. It goes all the way to the floor, so you can't see their feet. Well, why do they want to hide their feet? Because they don't want you to see what they're doing. Because it's the sorcerer, the magician is hiding the trick. So what you really want to do is study Aikido and see them without the hakama, and I have done that because I asked him, let me see what your feet are doing. He's like, oh, very good. Nobody asks me that. But again, that's from outside the box thinking. So if you're going to move, if you're standing in a straight stance, okay, let's say you're even a Japanese style and you're in a Shotokan, you're in a front stance. That's not the direction you actually want to be. You need to think about how do you get to that angle. And you can create the angles the only way to create an angle is with a circle. I don't know how to say it more plain than that. The only way to create an angle is creating a circle. So that sets up the angle. And you could make those angles with the circular movements. So that's why in Chinese arts you see the flowing hands, the moving patterns. They're just moving and they're finding this circle, and whatever the form it is, if it's dragon, it's that personified of that. If it's Uechi-ryu, you see the circle blocks. What you don't see taught in Uechi-ryu is where the actual attack angles should come from, or where you should defend from. The only way to see that, and we'll talk about this, is you've got to figure out how the Sanchin, Seisan, Sansei-ryu evolve, how that transition takes place, and what that is supposed to do to you. But you just got to step back and just hold your hands out in front of you and think, if I want this to come at an angle, and I want it to come across instead of straight at the person's face, I want it to come to the side of the face, but I still want to strike straight out where my power is. How am I going to create that? With body rotation. The body creates a circle and the hand follows the path. So now you can do that with your shoulders, you can do that with your hips, you can do that with your stepping patterns, you can do that with your arms. You now have infinite angles, infinite directions, infinite patterns. So, yeah, I don't know where to go after that unless John has something else.
Well, I think you made tremendous sense to me. I mean, it seems like you may think that you were all over the place, but I think that you were making things and then making applications or making examples which people could follow. I think the good way to kind of maybe end that off is...
Let's do one more technique. Let's talk about one more technique.
Okay, go ahead. You want to talk about another technique? Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to show you how to do a circle and a karate chop. So if you're going to do a chop, you bring the hand back and then you bring it down. That seems simple, right? What if, as you bring that arm back, as you're rotating, and you just continue the motion, you don't go back and stop. You don't go back and stop. Now you got to create force with a downward movement. You go back and you loop it and you come down. So you never stop moving. So you've got to practice this. Don't stop moving. It's not, a punch isn't straight back and straight out. See how you can make that a continuous flowing motion. The easiest visualization is the Sanchin strike, where they draw back into center line and out. And you can, if you add rotation with that, you're going to see the circles.
I'm not sure how many people got that, but maybe because I'm looking at him, I just got something that we're going to talk about after we finish it. I had to talk to him, so we're going to have a long maybe break after this video. You are with the University of Karate. Go in the comments. I got to talk to this guy, so we got to just let it stop right there. Go to the comments, Sensei Biddle will answer your questions there. You're with the Universal Karate, and we'll see you again next time.